Okay, for the second step in setting up volunteers for our convention, we will create a shift. To get to the shifts page, we just need to go up to the volunteers nav and click on the shifts link. And this takes us to the shifts page, and you can see right now we don't have any shifts we're setting up. Normally there will be a table which will display your existing shifts, and beneath there we have a form to create a single shift. Note that at the top of the form there are a couple of buttons. These are actually links to other pages. The copy shifts between days is a feature that will let you copy a set of shifts that exist on one day to another day, so you could duplicate shifts from day to day. And the import button is a feature that lets you import shifts into your current convention from another convention. So we will not deal with those in this video. We will deal with those in a subsequent video. So to create a shift, we will create a name, Code Check Thursday. This is going to be the shift on Thursday for code checking. And we'll set that to code check. And now we'll set the day. Now note that the start time and end time appear populated. They're really just displaying the current time, the time you open the page. And if we pick a day, it'll reset those times to the day that you've picked, to be on the day that you've picked. So if I pick Thursday, you'll see that it set those times, it set the start and end time for the shift to the beginning of that day. And I'm just going to make this quantity of volunteers needed for the shift 3. And now to continue with the times, there are a couple restrictions on the start and end times for the shift. One is that they must be during the day. So in this case, that is Thursday, September 26, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. These times must be sometime during that time range. And the end time must come after the start time. So first, you can see right now that there's a warning, which is because of the fact that the end time is actually the same time as the start time. So your shift is 0 minutes long. Or down here you can see it's 0 hours. So we will set this time, set it to 11 p.m. So we've done that. Now you can see the duration is 8 hours. So you can always check if you have the correct times you want with the duration. Now, if I were to set this to 11:30, you'll see I get another warning, and that is that the shift time is not during the selected day. If I tried to create that right now, I'll get an error alert that basically says the same thing. Shift end time is after end of selected convention day. So I will set that back to 11. And you would get the same sort of error alert if you were to set the start time to a time not during the day. So now I'll click the Create button. And this takes us to the edit page for the shift. And you can see there are a couple other things being displayed, a bit more information about the shift. You can see that there's a volunteers applied and volunteers scheduled. And there are a couple fields for entering some descriptive information, which we'll skip right now, or a private note. Now, the private note is private. Only the convention organizers will see it, and it can really be whatever you want. So you could say code checkers must inform attendees that the convention is not responsible for items in pockets. So you do that. You can change that at any time. The shift log will show the record of activity for the shift. So among other things, it will show if you've scheduled a volunteer for the shift or if you've taken a volunteer off the schedule. You can add from this page just an extra note if you need to make note of something permanently. This is a sample log entry. And that's part of the log now. You can't edit the log, but you can always add new things to it. Normally, when a shift has any volunteers for it, it'll show those volunteers in a table, but of course right now we don't have any volunteer applications for this shift. And there's a button at the bottom to the schedule shift page, which we will not go to right now, but that is where you would go to schedule volunteers for this shift. And so we're done. And we go back to the shifts page, and we can see our shift in the table. Now, when you have shifts in this table, there is a Manage dropdown, and there are several options available to you to work with a shift. There is the Edit link, which is where we were just at. There's the Schedule link, which is the same as that button we saw at the bottom of the Edit page, which is where you would go to schedule volunteers for this specific shift. There's a Delete item at the bottom. There's a Message Scheduled Volunteers, which will take you to the same link as the message link up in the nav bar, but it will be for messaging actual volunteers scheduled for this shift. And there's a Copy item, which will allow you to copy the shift for the same day. And we will take a look at that in the next video.